Your thoughts?
What? What? Who?
Nice.
That down. Hello and good morning. It's a Wednesday. I feel like an elephant is standing on top of my head right now. Man, oh man, are you guys' sinuses acting up? I didn't believe Channel 5 yesterday when they said the pressure was going to be out of control, and, well, they were right. You heard it here first. We got a great show for all of you today. We're going to be joined by SALT, student athletes, if I can pronounce words today, leading tomorrow. They'll join us in just a couple of minutes' time, and then at 10:15, we'll be joined by OSF Healthcare, getting the latest from Marla Nelson and all the great events that they have coming down the pipeline and learning opportunities. And then at 10:35, and really just an exciting time, we're starting our conversations back up with Centerstone, and so excited to have Centerstone back on. Aaron will be joining us along with the CEO of the organization. All that comes down the pipeline and more. But you know what? I'm stealing Letterman's segment. Before we do top of the hour news, here's 5. He's gone. Okay, I mean, he's alive, but I mean, you're watching the reruns, maybe on YouTube Shorts. Top 5 things I'd rather have than a sinus infection. A cat that pays rent. I'm suffering. At least my cat can contribute. A 24-hour loop of car warranty scam calls. I'd rather have those, yes, but at least they don't come with the congestion and headaches. Number 2, an all-you-can-eat buffet with no plates. I'd rather have that than a sinus infection. Sure, it's frustrating, but at least I wouldn't be sneezing into my own meal. Number 1, jury duty in another state. A long, tedious process, but at least there's some Kleenex in the juror's box. All right, top of the hour news now. We'll take you right to where you need to know your daily... I thought that was fun, your daily dose of local. Make sure you sign up for that daily email update so you'll never miss out. A Cottage Hills woman has been charged with stealing from an elderly resident. Here's what we know. Christine Muir, a 51-year-old woman from Cottage Hills, faces criminal charges for allegedly stealing from an 86-year-old resident from an assisted living facility where she was employed. Muir was charged with financial exploitation of an elderly person, a Class 4 felony, and a Class A misdemeanor for theft. The incident occurred on November the 22nd when she reportedly deceived the victim into giving her 4 Amazon cards worth $100 apiece. Muir was in a position of trust with the victim in the case presented by the Bethalto Police Department. Christine Muir has been granted pretrial release. Also in the news today, a Woods River man is facing multiple felonies after a high-speed chase in a stolen vehicle. Justin Rodwald, 37-year-old man from Wood River, charged with several felonies following a high-speed chase in a stolen vehicle which occurred on February the 24th. The suspect fled from a traffic stop in Otterville and reached speeds over 100 miles an hour. In addition to unlawful possession of a stolen vehicle, he also faces charges for possessing a weapon as a felon and methamphetamine possession. During the incident, law enforcement discovered a fixed blade knife in his possession. Rodwald has been granted pretrial release with conditions, including possible surrender of firearm as mandated by the court. The community is uniting to support an Edwardsville couple after a devastating house fire. Amanda Couch is rallying community support for Dave and Marge, an Edwardsville couple who suffered a devastating house fire just a few days ago on February the 20th. The fire resulted in the complete loss of their home and vehicles, leaving them to navigate the aftermath of this tragedy. Though David and Marge escaped through the flames with some injuries, they were unable to save their pets. Initially declining financial assistance, I hate to hear that. They have since agreed to accept help as they work through insurance claims and address immediate needs. A GoFundMe campaign has been launched to support their recovery efforts. Man, I hate to hear that about their pets. There's nothing worse. A rally against gun violence is set to take place on March the 6th. That's tomorrow at 12 noon. Community members are encouraged to gather at the 1200th block of Central Avenue to discuss safety and hear from young speakers and elected officials. Alderwoman Rosetta Brown emphasized the rally's purpose to assure residents that their safety is a top priority and to address the recent shootings in the area. Collaborator Lee Barham highlighted the need for more youth activities to combat violence. Both leaders hope to send a strong message about community unity and safety in Alton. Couple of more news stories for you today. This year, a beloved Oscars party transformed into a fundraiser for the Village of Godfrey's Park and Recreation Department. After 2 decades of celebration, Susie Eckert and her friends hosted their final event at Tony's Ranch House, which is just the best. Raising nearly $2,000, attendees dressed to impress. They walked the red carpet and voted for awards like Best Dressed and Biggest Public Nuisance, which I won. Godfrey Mayor Mike McCormick, I did not. Godfrey Mayor Mike McCormick attended, expressing gratitude for the funds, which did support local parks. Though the party has concluded and those series have come to a close, Eckert and the owner of Tony's are proud of their community contributions and look forward to the positive impact on local recreation. Congratulations to both of you for your hard work and support of the Godfrey community. In a heated meeting on March the 3rd, the Wood River City Council debated the management of city TIF funds, a common theme throughout the Riverbend region the last few years. Councilman Bill Detmers previously called for a forensic audit, allegedly unauthorized payments and changes to TIF agreements without council approval. Now, a special meeting was canceled due to the absence of a quorum of key members, leading to accusations from the public of political maneuvering. Now, during this meeting, Detmers raised concerns over amendments to TIF agreements, fearing potential misuse of funds. Despite his objections, the council approved 5 amended agreements. A proposal for an independent investigation was also rejected in a closed vote. We'll keep you updated as more details do emerge. Mayor Tom Stallcup will be joining us on the show next week. Finally, in the news today, Attorney General Kwame Raoul has charged Aaron Blankley, a 47-year-old man from Pocahontas, with multiple counts related to the production and dissemination of child sexual abuse material. Following a search of his residence, investigators found evidence leading to his arrest. Blanky faces 10 Class X felony counts of dissemination of child pornography, which carry a potential sentence of 30 years, along with 5 Class 2 felony counts of possession. The case underscores ongoing collaboration between state and federal law enforcement to combat child exploitation. Raul emphasizes the importance of justice for survivors and their families. Also, we'll end the news on a good note today. In a thrilling matchup, the Alton girls basketball team have secured their first ever trip to the state tournament by defeating Wabanzi Valley 67-62 after that heartbreaking loss to the same team last season. Kyoko Proctor, returning from injury, led the charge with 23 points, proving her resilience and determination. The game, intense back-and-forth action, which with 13 lead changes in a fierce comeback from Alton in the final minutes of the game. With this victory, now 33-2 on the year, Redbirds will face Kenwood in the state semifinals, aiming for a championship that they have long dreamed of, and the Alton community is ready for them to bring it on home. At 9:16, that's what's happening around the Riverbend. We'll take you to weather. 32 degrees. It's snowing. I told you it would be today. Y'all told me I was crazy. I'll keep talking. Okay, today very windy, rain and snow showers this morning with little accumulation. Otherwise, it's colder and much colder. Strong winds can cause damage and travel delays. They're calling for them today with those fierce wind gusts. We started to feel them this morning. Tonight, evening, low clouds, then becoming clear late. Windy and cold. Those are the 2 notes. Temperatures will reach just around 34 degrees today, not much more that we can expect out there today. Drop down to 25 overnight as we head into Thursday. On Thursday, partly sunny skies, a high of 47 degrees, a low of 35 degrees. And on Friday, the 7th of March, partly sunny skies, a high of 61, a low of 32 degrees. And on Saturday, partly sunny skies yet again, a high of 53, a low of 31 degrees. I am sweating profusely. And on Sunday, a high of 61, and a low of 34 degrees. That's a look at the next 5 days. Here's what's happening now. 32 degrees in downtown Alton. It feels like 21 out there. It was fun to go outside with the snow for a couple of minutes. Humidity at 93%, and if you need weather throughout the day, 618-465-4545. This time powered by Tom Lane. He's your local State Farm agent. While I have you, let me fill you in on my good friends over there at Absolute Healthcare. You know, for 20 plus years, Deb Ross and her team have truly gone above and beyond for not only you, not only your families, but the region's families and our older loved ones in our life. You know, when it comes to not really, I hate to say the final stage, because sometimes it's just a chapter, right? And you know, the active lifestyle kind of comes to a close and maybe mobility is becoming an issue. So the families time is now to be there for the older adult as they were there for us. So, you know, whether or not, you know, you're at kind of maybe a palliative or pre-palliative, you know, kind of situation, or maybe, you know, you just need some help with getting some groceries delivered because of a mobility issue. Absolute Healthcare has a literal range of services that encompass all of those aspects. You know what I think is so important? We always talk about, and we've said it on the show for so many years now, we talk about the individual receiving the care, right? And we should. We got to be an advocate for them. But we also leave out sometimes the stress, the burden, and really just the overall feeling of overwhelmed that you can get when you're a caregiver. And that's where an Absolute Healthcare Services comes in. And I mean this with 100% conviction. You know, every once in a while, you need a break. There's nothing wrong with that. You've been there with your loved one for a couple of years now, or maybe you're there every day, 3 times a day, every day, all day long for 6 months, and you just need a weekend. They get it at Absolute Healthcare, and they're there for you. You know, if you go to ahcsllc.com. That's ahcsllc.com. You can see exactly what they have to offer and why for 20 plus years the entire Riverbend region has been going to them. They weren't voted best of the best just out of nowhere. They're voted that way for a reason. And you can see more at Absolute Healthcare's website, ahcsllc.com.
Have a rash, pink eye, or urinary tract infection and need care now? OSF On-Call Urgent Care is here to treat you. Start a virtual visit 24/7, whenever and wherever you need it. It's just that easy. osfoncall.org/virtual visit.
Has free checking become a thing of the past? Not if Liberty has anything to say about it. With 3 free personal checking options and even a free business checking account, free is alive and well at Liberty Bank, the local bank that gives you free checking choices and more cashing in your pocket. Bank locally, bank Liberty. For more information, visit www.bankliberty.com.
I set the thermostat so my house would be warm when I got home from work, but the kitchen is still cool.
At Barrett Heating and Cooling, we stand behind every Linux system we sell.
My dealer said he'd take care of everything.
At Barrett Heating and Cooling, we understand everyone wants prompt, professional service.
Turns out it wasn't my furnace after all, just a little something blocking the vent.
Pretty smart dog if you ask me. For service you can count on, call Barrett Heating and Cooling.
Lennox, innovation never felt so good.
Brant Walker knows how to get results for Alton because he's done it. as Mayor Brandt froze the property tax levy and balanced the budget. His economic development policy stimulated $116 million in private capital investment. Community policing and increased resources for public safety led to a decrease in crime. And under Brant Walker's leadership, Alton secured more than $10 million in extra grant funds for infrastructure and park improvements. Move Alton forward with Brant Walker.
Macias Insurance Agency, providing quality products with extremely competitive prices. As an independent provider, we source multiple companies to offer the best rates possible. Covering auto, home, business, and life insurance, our goal is to provide quality service that meets and exceeds customer expectations. You can rest easy knowing the Macias team is working round the clock to ensure that both you and the most important parts of your life are covered. Our qualified professionals make the insurance process easy so you can live carefree and focus on what matters most. Visit MaciasInsuranceAgency.com today to find out what our team can do for you.
You're listening to Our Daily Show with CJ Nasello on RiverBender.com.
Sharing horizons that are new to us.
I figured we only have just begun with salt, so what the hell, you know?
Well put. Yes, I resemble that remark.
That's right. Salt is only just getting started. Student athletes leading tomorrow, Damian and Emily in the studio. And Damian, thank you again for coming to my rescue.
No, just a pleasure to be here. I love your program. It's an honor to be here, CJ. Thank you so much for the opportunity.
Well, I was meaning, the other day, because I don't know how it works, and I had a last-minute thing that came up schedule-wise, and some parents were really needing training that day and said, Damian, I don't know who to call or what to do, and within 10 minutes, I had practice figured out. It's amazing. That pitch is wonderful.
Thank you. It's neat to see that it's being utilized, that there are individuals and organizations that are activating the space. That was the vision. Mm-hmm. And so to see it come to pass is gratifying.
And thank you to Lindsay Younger, too, for being there for me. I have to get that out. But you know what I think's good about that? Just picking up on that, if you drive by, there's club teams, there's recreational teams out there, but even just individuals with a pickup game. And that's what I think's so cool about this.
That was the idea behind the program. We partner with the U.S. Soccer Foundation and their Safe Places to Play program. Their goal is to identify underutilized spaces and to activate those spaces. Obviously, the predominant activity is soccer. But like you said, I was driving by one day and my eye was drawn to the pitch. There were a group of young men out there playing street hockey, like inline hockey skates.
There you go.
I had to go over there and just watch the game, and it was so just gratifying. That's exactly what we want to see.
The way it's built, too, is perfect for that type of stuff, because if it was built any other way, there's concern probably of, is the ball going to go through, break a net or anything. But the way you guys set this up, it's literally meant to be used at any time.
That's exactly it. It's a robust, system that can sustain, a multitude of activities. And that's another thing that we were very proud of in developing, that space, and to see what's, it's activated in terms of additional redevelopment. We have the pickleball courts now, as well as tennis. And the space that once only supported tennis now has, like futsal or soccer. We've got, street hockey.
Right, the soccer tennis. That's pretty fun, too.
Soccer tennis on the pickleball courts. So in one fell swoop, we've created a multi kind of disciplinary space that can support a multitude of activities. That's value for your dollar. So.
Well, and Emily, what are your thoughts about all of this developing and just the work that Damian Salt and the whole group, have been able to develop here the last few years?
I think it's really exciting. Damian came to me with this great idea that he had already kind of envisioned. He did one of those picture this kind of gestures, and I was like, all right, following along.
Sicily, 40 years ago.
Really, it's the broad, right? Everybody knows you. That's your thing. I can't walk anywhere without somebody knowing you. But yeah, it's been amazing that he came to SIUE's STEM Center and asked if we could partner. And, the STEM Center, in case you're not familiar with it, we are we're a research center at Southern Illinois University, Edwardsville. We have 3 different aspects to our programming. We have a STEM education research, we have outreach, and we have an educational library.
Wow.
So one of the greatest, and we kind of joke about it being a well-kept secret, is we have a resource library. And one of the things we have are Spike Prime robot sets. And they're available for checkout for anybody. So our regular clients are Scout leaders. We work with the YWCA. We work with Boys and Girls Clubs.
When you say robots, like what is just because I maybe need some more clarity, like an actual set you can build a robot with?
Yeah, absolutely. So we have several different kinds. The one that we're going to use, it's the
This is incredible.
Yeah. Like I said, we're like this little jewel on the campus.
I'm not being
Edwardsville.
patronizing or funny. I didn't know that that's all kind of what was involved with this group.
Right. Yeah. So what we're going to use is the STEM Center owns 15 Lego kits that are called Spike Prime. And we're going to be utilizing those robot sets for the students to build and then program robots that are going to then use, we have data loggers too. So they're going to log the swing, the angle, the velocity. And then the soccer players are going to be teaching them the physical body movements of the soccer players. When you go and how do you angle your kick? What velocity do you need? What force? And then we're going to mimic that with our robots. So the kids are getting that kind of value added.
That's incredible.
Isn't it neat?
Let's break this down a little bit just because I mean, this is really cool. So these robots are going to be built by the individual.
The students.
And they're going to be able to program this based off of their own attributes on what their techniques are and everything else, correct?
Yep, that's the idea.
Whoa.
So it's really a neat marriage of the sport, but also the science involved in sport.
It is. That's what needs to be talked about more. Remember when ESPN did that thing with Ronaldo?
The sports science special. I used to watch that all the
amazing. It's insane. It gets kids excited about this stuff.
There was a segment that they did on sports science about Steph Curry.
Yeah.
What makes Steph Curry so proficient at 3-point shots? And they broke down his release. And by science, they determined that it was the ideal launch angle to propel the ball and have it come in with the highest probability of it entering the circle, entering the rim. There was a science to, his efficiency as a 3-point shooter. That was so cool.
Well, it's also on top of that too, Damian. It's a way we can perfect our own techniques too, because if we're programming a robot, maybe we're looking at things. I mean, I'm not saying it's going to be perfect, but you can go, man, actually, I'm going to take a little bit of note in that and try to utilize this, because if it's working for the robot, it's got to be working for us.
That's exactly it. And for those students who fall in love with soccer, it gives them another perspective about their game. It could help them to kind of delve deeper into their technique. But beyond that, the children who may I guess our program could spark an interest or passion for soccer. It's really not about that so much. It's about exposing kids to a new activity for most of them. To get exposed to soccer. And then the neat thing about our program that I think is a differentiator is the coaches or the teachers of the soccer skills and drills will be SIUE men's and women's soccer players.
Oh, cool. That's even better.
It's a service learning program for the student athletes to engage the broader community, the children within that community, and share their knowledge and expertise with these children.
Yeah.
And so it's a coaching and mentoring kind of opportunity for the student athletes. And it's neat because I was watching a television news program yesterday. There were some university students from Washington, D.C. that had come here. I think it was Howard University that had come to St. Louis to engage some high school students, I think at Sumner, during their spring break, just to connect with the students, mentor them, talk about their experiences as college students and their particular areas of specialty at the university. And they interviewed one of the young men, high school students, and he expressed enthusiasm and excitement for just the opportunity to meet and talk to college students.
Yeah.
He was so excited about that and so happy that college students came to their school to talk to them. And I thought how appropriate, because it was the day before this opportunity to appear on your show, to talk about what we hope to create with our Cougar Kickbots is the name of our program.
I love it.
Thank you. There was a lot of workshopping.
Yeah, yes, a lot of ideating among myself and the staff to come up with some something, catchy, and that's what we've come up with.
And this goes into the greater STEM conversation because, my generation that maybe was newer, like STEM was kind of the buzzword when I was in 7th grade and stuff, and it was the new shiny toy. We don't realize what STEAM really involves now. If it's okay to use, is STEAM kind of the new thing now or whatever? But it's so important because, Damian, like you were saying, with soccer and getting kids just involved in this new idea, it goes beyond that. Because how many people do you know that just love sports and they love to be a part of the team, but just like, I would love to play basketball, I'm never going to be a point guard just because of the way God made me, and there's nothing wrong with that.
Right.
But with STEM, you can learn so many things to help that basketball organization or help that soccer organization and still be a part of that new team with the evolutions of STEM.
It's an interesting point you're making because one of the aspects that we hope to kind of integrate into this program, there is a rivalry soccer game here in St. Louis called the Bronze Boot Game, where SIUE plays SLU.
Course, yes.
And now that we have an MLS team and stadium, they play the games down at the MLS stadium. So what we hope to do is have the young people from the middle school who participate in our Cougar Kickbots program will be able to go take a field trip to the MLS stadium. Prior to the game, they'll be able to tour the stadium.
They won't leave.
I know, it's exciting.
They won't leave. It's too beautiful.
It's a beautiful stadium. They'll get a chance to see all the technology that supports the operation of the stadium, the Jumbotron and all the lights and all the technology, the STEM associated with running a major sports stadium. But they'll be able to stay and watch their coach mentor that taught them in the Cougar Kickbots program. They'll be able to watch their coach mentor play in a college soccer game.
That's incredible.
So it's going to be so much fun.
It's a full deal. I mean,
it's a great way to put a bow on a package of a great program that we hope to be a sustaining program. We don't want this to be one and done. We want this to be an ongoing program within our Alton School District. And we're not limited to soccer. We can use any sport and kind of delve into the technology of that sport or the STEM involved and serve both the physical person, the child, with the physical literacy component, whatever athletic pursuit, but also the cognitive development associated with STEM and technology.
When I was in middle school, I was on the botball team.
Oh, nice!
You were.
That's awesome.
Don't really talk about that much, but I was during my time. I all of a sudden I was in class and during like AutoCAD, and I thought, well, this would be kind of cool. Right. And we went to SIUE and did all. It was a really great competition. It was about our robot wasn't kicking soccer balls. No. It was just collecting colored balls and it was sorting them. But it was still the idea of it because it's really unique once you get your hands on something like that, especially now with AI revolutionizing things and just really doing some great stuff, not chat-wise, but software perspective. Right. You're seeing this new perception of reality for these students. Like it's a fourth dimension once you really invest into that and you see the work paying off.
Right. I think that's, and I think Emily could chime in and support this. But it's our the trajectory of our economy and our society with information technology, with STEM, with this is the new economy. It's important for our young people to be exposed to that. To gain a facility and a comfort level with it, to demystify STEM and technology and some of the jobs, the majors, if you will, at the college level, but also careers in STEM. It's important to demystify as soon as possible.
100%.
At SALT, we like to say that children are wet clay on a potter's wheel. They're so moldable and shapeable, but at that young age, they're willing to try new things and be exposed. We need to take advantage of that and to mold that vessel, to hold, in character and resilience and a willingness to try new things. That growth mindset that we want to develop in our children. That's kind of the overarching theme of a program like this: is to expose kids for the sheer benefit of the exposure, with the hope that some children will fall in love with the soccer and the robotics. But it's also just about the exposure and the growth associated with it.
Right. And it's just that critical thinking component, too, that's just,
absolutely.
So many times I always thought that was just such a buzzword. I used to get so mad over that. But critical thinking is so important anymore. Right. And we're getting, it seems like for a while we kind of got away from really pursuing critical thinking in a lot of our infrastructure and education. But now with programs like this, you aren't looking at this worksheet figuring out, well, I have the answer. why did I get to this answer? Right. Even though I know 2 + 2 is 4, I still got to draw it out. We don't need to do that. We can critical think and solve problems that are actual real world problems that we're going to encounter.
Right. I mean, realistically.
This is so cool.
Yeah. I mean, we've been able to go, last year we were funded to go partner with the Head Starts in the area.
Oh, yeah.
And we took a preschool robotics set. So a little bit different from what we're using. What? These are more wooden blocks. And it's literal block programming where you're putting together the instructions to make a code. You build up this cute little, it's like a Melissa and Doug wooden robot, build it up, and then you scan the code, tell the robot what to do, press play, and then the kids are real-time debugging. Well, it didn't do what I told it to. Well, let's go back and look at your code. What's wrong? Oh, it says spin around first. Let me move that, redo it, rescan it. And these are, 3-year-olds through 7-year-olds.
Well, and it's going through this craze. Like in Jerseyville, they're doing this really cool thing. Do you know about it? They're teaching agricultural drone stuff. So, I mean, they're teaching how to fly drones and how to use AI to code to see what water or what type of soil and terrain. It's wonderful stuff.
Yeah, I have to say, CJ, given the opportunity to be here and on your show and sharing with our the community, there's 2 benefits to this program, and it's so appropriate to be on the show. One of the things that we know is happening in our community that's a real concern. There's a walk, I think, that's scheduled.
Tomorrow at noon.
Against gun violence. And I was reading an article from RiverBender, and I think it was a Mr. Barham that talked about children don't have safe places to play or things to do to occupy themselves. This is one of the, the ancillary purposes or benefits of a program like this. It's leveraging, because the soccer court, that's where we're going to be doing the skills and drills with the university soccer players right next to the middle school. That's why we built it next to the middle school. But we're also not only exposing them to that safe place, but we're also giving them something to do, both physically and cognitively and fun. Right. It's an engaging marriage of the two.
And see, it justifies, because you're 100% right about that. The other point to that, and Lee's been on the show and we've talked about this before, is, it seems like it's such a snowball mentality, and especially middle school and stuff like that, when we're really kind of developing and seeing who we are in life. Once you get that one friend that goes, hey, did you guys see that that robot stuff that's happening? You might get 1 or 2 kids that go, that's dumb, I'm not doing that. Well, it prevents it. But when you create an environment with coaches from different colleges and you're bringing in all these different people, you're creating a community within itself.
That's the key word.
Right. You can't throw an event out there or throw a program and say, we want you to come. You have to put the components in to make them want to be a part of the neighborhood, make them want to be a part of that community.
You're creating community. Once we get the ball rolling, if you will, or, I like to say the breakaway torque. We get the object moving across the plane. It'll take less force to keep it moving. Right. There'll be a gravitational pull, hopefully. In motion. Yes, there'll be a gravitational pull that will bring other children into our programming. And then, like as I've said, and Emily and I were talking about it, we're limited by our imagination in terms of what other physical activities. It could be basketball, it could be softball, it can be football, American football, it could be tennis. Whatever physical pursuit is the fun and the physical literacy component, and then we marry that to some cognitive component to serve the whole child.
I just love this. And Emily, before we take a break and come back, if you could, fill us in on just some of what the overall center does each and every day, just for the overall region, for the university too.
Yeah, absolutely. So we're located in Science East. We're on the first floor. We're open to the public. If you are a former student, current student, if you made the misfortunate choice of choosing another university for your undergraduate, I'm an alma mater, of course, that's my alma mater. So, but
they went to SIUEC. Or SIUC.
I did too. I guess we're getting my master's.
That's fair.
Keep it in the system, right? Dental school, medical school, it's all good.
SIU system.
Right, but we have people from all over. We have parents come in that their kids have shown an interest in something STEM related, and so they want to borrow. All of our inventory is located online, and it works just like Amazon. You add it to your cart, tell us when you're picking it up, and we prep it, get it all cleaned up, ready, and then you can have it for up to 2 weeks for free. The only thing we don't give out for free are owl pellets, because we don't want those back. You keep those. So that's a consumable. We charge for those, but everything else is available for free.
What do you say? Owl pellets?
Owl pellets, regurgitate
Yeah,
from
so
owls.
you can dissect the pellet.
Yeah.
How much different? Take me through the variety of stuff. I mean, you just went from robots to owl pellets.
I mean, that's really what it is, right?
Yeah, I was like, whoa, yeah.
Left turn here.
If I could put the STEM Center on a T-shirt, I think I'd say that. From owl pellets to robots.
That is the commercial.
Right? Exactly.
Soup to nuts.
Soup to nuts, owl pellets to robots. But really, anything that's going to be a benefit to STEM education. So we get grant funding, and we develop a curriculum. We field test it, purchase the equipment. Once the grant is over, the equipment goes in the library. So we have a lot of students that are interested in their local environment.
Yeah.
They come in for noise meters or soil testers or water testers. We have our own undergraduates and graduate students come in and borrow glassware. The best is when they do the practical for the nursing students. The box of bones goes out, and they look at. We have a articulated human skeleton.
Thanks
in
for
there.
taking those for me.
Yeah, right. We always thought that would be a good way to slowly dispose of a body, right? One bone at a time. Oh, I don't know where you're going. But pretty much anything you need and anything that would be interesting and helpful. And that's we're all about removing barriers to STEM education.
It's so cool. This is incredible.
Isn't it neat?
Do you guys have a moment to stick around?
Absolutely.
Sure. Let me take a quick break. We'll come back with more Daily Show next.
Hey, would you drop by the pharmacy? My doctor switched my cholesterol medication.
Yeah, will do, honey. I'm glad he's looking out for you.
OSF Healthcare can handle all of your family's primary care needs, including managing chronic conditions. Schedule an appointment today.
What are you doing?
We did our home insurance ourselves, but don't feel protected.
So you're building your own American Family Insurance roof line?
Yeah, life's better when you're protected under American Family's roof.
That's not how it works.
Dad, we'll go. It's gonna hit.
See, that's how it works.
For real protection, save up to 23% by bundling your home and auto with us.
With over 20 years of experience, Wilson's Tree Service has the expertise to handle all of your tree care needs. Licensed and fully insured, their team of experts are dedicated to providing reliable service. Plus, with a 24-hour emergency service line, Wilson's will always be there for you. Don't risk tackling that timber by yourself. Trust the local professionals at Wilson's Tree Service. Visit treeservicealtonil.org to get started today.
No matter the season, Play It Again Sports in Edwardsville has the gear the athletes need to get in the game. Whether you're shopping for the newest sports equipment or saving money on quality used gear, Play It Again Sports carries what you need to maximize performance to get the most out of every swing, kick, stroke, or shot. We'll even buy your used goods, paying cash on the spot. We carry all the gear for all the sports all year long. We're your hometown sporting goods store. Play It Again Sports, conveniently located at 4 Club Center Court in Edwardsville. Picture This and More has been a trusted name in the Alton community for more than 30 years, with the last 3 being right here on Broadway. We specialize in quality framing at affordable prices. We also feature works by local artists because we're proud of our community. If you have valued treasures to display and preserve, we're sure to have the perfect fit with our large selection of custom framing and display options. Whatever color, shape, or size, Picture This and More has the look you need. Stop by today and let us help you with your next project.
Village Dispensary has the best deals in Godfrey, Illinois with specials 5 days a week. Mondays, roll in the week with 20 to 30% off select pre-rolls. Tasty Tuesdays, enjoy 20 to 30% off select edibles. Waxy Wednesdays, enjoy 20 to 30% off select concentrate and vape brands. Thirsty Thursdays, sip and save with 20 to 30% off all drinks. Flower Friday, grab like 3.5 gram flower deals starting at just $20. Village Dispensary, come meet your best buds.
You're listening to Our Daily Show with CJ Nasello on RiverBender.com.
Welcome back, 946. 31 temperature is dropping out there. I did not know that. Yeah.
Harsh.
Yeah.
You know,
snowing.
Was it snowing? It was snowing pretty good.
It was snowing.
It's snowing good.
If it was cold, we'd get it to stick. That's for sure today, but it ain't going to happen. It was still fun.
Yeah, right? It's March.
Yeah.
It's okay.
Yeah.
Midwest, the Midwest.
Midwest, Illinois, that's what we
all
thought.
4 seasons in one day.
Born and raised here, I'm so used to it.
Getting back into this conversation and really just this really great program, when does it start?
We are starting, the March 19th, I believe, and we're running 6 weeks.
Okay. Is it weekly?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, every Wednesday in the evening.
And where's the meetup point? Is it at the...
We'll be at the middle school, and as I said, the soccer component will be down at the mini pitch. We'll do skills and drills with the kids, covering some of the fundamentals of soccer, and that can then be translated into the STEM component with the robotics, and how those motions are replicated through the robot.
I love it. This is so cool. And now, I need you to open up your hearts and maybe a checking account or two. Because we can help this program grow. And I really do mean this, because STEM's not going anywhere, STEAM's not going anywhere, AI's not going anywhere, none of this stuff's going anywhere, like you said. It's the new economy, and it's the way it's going to be, and you got to just kind of adapt to it, because if you don't, 20 years from now, you're going to be lost. It's just the way it's going. So how can we support something like this? The more that we can get our young children involved with STEM and learning about these different components, if you can code in preschool, I think you'll be just fine by college. How can we help support this seriously? Is there grants that we can obtain from various resources and townships? Is it private donations that could fund this? What really drives something like this?
So we're currently limited by staffing and by equipment.
Okay.
The STEM Center has 15 robots, and so I've booked them out in our system for the entire duration of this program. That means that the classroom teachers that would use them, or the area youth groups, the YWCA, YMCA, would normally come in and borrow these robots. They can't. Those are booked into ours. So if we could have a classroom set that just is used for Cougar Kitbox. We also want to expand outside of Alton. We have some interest from Jackie Joyner Kersey Center. We have a couple of different school districts. The STEM Center partners with about 55 different school districts. So there was chances to expand this program. We are, it's myself and my colleague Andrea, who is the grant writer for this, and she's been churning out grant applications.
That is an art
form.
form.
Yeah, she's very talented.
It is.
And she's a soccer fan, which is great, because a lot of times Damian will throw out names. He'll be like, "That sounds super," and Andrea's like, "Oh, I know exactly who you're talking about."
Dr. Andrea is Brazilian, so she is I always say she's cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs soccer fan. She loves soccer, and so when we get together, we spin a yarn on all the global soccer. And Emily's like, "Okay, whenever you guys are finished, we'll get."
No problem.
Do you have any way to program that robot to tell me what the hell happened to Man United this year? Do you know how much money I have lost on betting on Manchester United this year? I'm telling you what, it's a laughable thing.
There are limits to technology. Okay, yeah, that's a mystery.
There's no crystal ball for my problems.
No,
is what
sorry.
Okay. Well, I think this is so exciting, Damian, because so many times, and you and I both talked about the train moving. Once you push that train and the wheels start to go a little bit, it gets easier. However, there's always a stick in that railroad track that could derail stuff or push things back. And it seems like you're really a living testament. Just hitting the ground running. You got to keep walking to get something achieved. And this has really grown in the few years you've had this, to the likes of which not a lot of organizations can say they're partnering up with national organizations, international, and partnering up with school districts and universities and teams. That's wonderful.
We have complex, challenging issues, that we're faced as communities, as a society. And they're too big for any one individual, any one administration, any one university system. They're too big. It necessitates collaboration. And so from the off, when I formed SALT in 2019, my approach has always been to try to activate different assets within our community or within the region to collaborate to try to address some of these challenging issues. We're faced with youth violence that's real. If we can find ways to engage our youth in productive, safe and fun activities that are whole child development oriented, that in some small way addresses that. And what an appropriate time as a community, we have the Innovation Center that Alton Works is about to cut the ribbon on. And again, STEM and entrepreneurship and innovation happening right down the street. And we have a youth development program and pilot program that we have every intention of scaling that ties in, seamlessly with what's happening right now in our community with that innovation center.
Well, and see, that's where I think you guys are winning here because, so many times the cool thing used to be going and, and messing around and having not the most safe fun. And that's just the way that life was because you saw it glamorized on television and movies and entertainment and all the video games and stuff. But when you created a haven like this, a community that has so much nuance to it, that's innovative with new technology, and there's young people, there's older people, there's coaches and all of this. You are the cool club eventually, where it's not cool to go out and be a problem. It's cool to go and be a part of, the Cougar, bots, or what's it called?
Cougar Kick Bots.
God dang it! Okay.
So close.
Okay. Sorry, I had to get that out of my system. It was the sinus pressure. But you know what I'm saying, though? Because
Absolutely.
It used to be the cool thing. And I think the more that you invest into this and the more that you show kids, hey, this is fun. This is the cool stuff. This is the technology literally of tomorrow that you're with.
We're trying to make it as rich and immersive as possible and check off as many boxes as we can. There's the physical activity and the fun of the sport, of the play. When you distill sports down to their barest essence, it's simply play. And, all children love to play.
Yep.
There's also, as I said, safe spaces where, kids can go. Yeah. They feel comfortable. They feel welcome. And kind of, I guess, have belonging there. Yeah. There's also positive relationships and connections, both to one child to another child, but also a child to a caring adult, that the mentorship component. So we're checking off as many of the boxes as possible.
And on top of that, when you create that safe space, and, especially with being at the pitch and all that, what happens is the folks that are up to no good, they go, I'm staying away from there because I know that X, Y, and Z is going on there, and I know I'm not going to get pulled over because there could be something there. There's a community event going on, and when you see all of that, and you see it that happens in Alton and stuff, just with other events, the problems kind of go away for a little bit, and they go somewhere else. I'm not saying that's how you eliminate them, but that's how you create a safe place because they know there's a community event going on there, and they being any person that's up to no good, and whatever they want to do in their life. But it keeps that kid safe because they know I'm not messing near Rock Springs today because there's a bunch of people out there.
Well, it's interesting because one of the things when we first opened the mini pitch, I had many conversations when
I'm sure
residents were like, so when do you unlock the storage? I see that there are storage bins for the cones and the balls. When do you unlock those for the kids to use them? I'm like, we don't lock them.
No.
You mean you don't lock them? I'm like, no. That we built this facility for the children, for the community. Right. It would be, counterproductive to lock it. It sends the wrong message. We built this with the specific intent of sending that message that boys and girls, this is your court.
Right.
This is your space. This is your place to come, to have fun, to engage with your and play with your mates, and any time you want.
Right.
As long as the lights are on and you can, you're able, if it's, at night, obviously, as long as the lights are on or during the day, it's there for you. We want to send that message. And that's kind of that subliminal message that you send, that this is a safe space. It is, it is the community space for the kids. Come down here and have fun and use it because we built it for you.
What's SIUE's hope with programs like this and just community outreach and collaboration?
Just to keep, like I said before, removing barriers to STEM education. We want to keep going out there. And one of the most popular outreaches I actually went into Alton West, Alton North, and Alton East last week. I brought our portable planetarium. And just getting to the kids and letting them see things that they may not normally have that experience. And then, like I said, not everybody's going to become an engineer, but they're all going to learn some critical thinking and some problem solving, which is going to serve them in life.
You're so right about that because, whenever we went to the moon for the first time, and everyone was so fascinated that we could go, and I know there's going to be some guy that goes, we didn't go to the moon. Anyway, that's fine. But my point is you have to get kids excited about life. And whenever, as a 7-year-old, you're seeing the stars in the sky in your own classroom, or you're being able to build something and see a robot work and talk to you, that gets you excited for life, and because we all have, the home, we all hear the stories that maybe there's not the most supportive or optimistic households, I think is the proper term. But when you guys come in and you go, hey, little Johnny, look what you can do with this. that's what gives that little light bulb to innovation and wanting to be successful and do stuff in life. And that's where I think this is priceless.
I've said many times that once a child discovers their inner voice, that passion, that whether it's athletics or science, when they find something that they're passionate about and that inner voice is kind of activated, it creates the opportunity for them to share that innermost being with the rest of the world, and it's very powerful.
Yeah.
And to dovetail what Emily was saying about the hope with SIUE, my thought was also to share the resource, the capacity that SIUE as an institution represents here in our community, to activate that capacity and to extend and expand that capacity of talent and knowledge into our community with our children, with our families. That's community. That's the manifestation of community, and SIUE is an important component of this community. And I'd like for the public to see how SIUE is blessing the broader community by engaging its youth in this kind of a creative and fun program. It's a great representation of SIUE and what the institution is about.
How can we sign up?
Well, we have.
I
didn't anticipate this.
We've been working with the middle school. We're launching this program as a pilot program with all middle school.
Right.
There is, they have a sign-up sheet that they're going to be distributing, and the program is going to be capped at 30 students.
Okay.
Just to ensure that we have the proper, coach mentor to student ratio.
Yeah. Well, and also flying back to the fact that we are limited by equipment,
and
by staffing.
Hence
so
that's
all we can do.
The commercial plug for yes.
I was just making sure this darn thing was working. That's where you come in out there.
That was deftly handled on your part. I love the way you set the ball on the tee for us to talk once again about the importance of funding to be able to scale this program. That was deftly handled.
There's always some thoughts going on up here. I just always act like there's nothing going on.
That's a professional.
That's the secret.
CJ, what a professional. Nicely done.
But in all seriousness, what's the phone? Like, if someone's, because we've had this, believe it or not, the gazebo up there. A gentleman in St. Charles was watching the show, and his brother or someone loved gazebos. He made a massive donation up there to get kind of the process going. So if we have someone today that would love to see this next generation of really sports technology and STEM technology and youth innovation, what can they do to reach out to you? Is there a phone number or an email?
I would say get in touch with Damian.
My email is Damian.Jones, DAMIAN.Jones, JONES, at saltyouth.org.
Mm-hmm.
My mobile is 618-960-4475. If you want to phone me up or send a text just to get more information about the program. But as far as reaching out to the university,
we have the STEM Center site. I have to look because we just relaunched a new website.
You guys have such a big facility. I can see why that would take some time to find. I mean,
right,
that's a lot going on at SIU.
There, right?
You happen to be a D1 university.
I mean, we're awesome for a lot of reasons, but yes. But our website is stemcenter.siue.edu, and that's got our full line of our curriculum that's been field tested, downloadable. My favorite, actually, sorry to sideline, but when I started SIUE the week of shutdown for COVID. So imagine being a community engagement specialist, and the community is like, don't engage.
Welcome to the job. Stay at home.
Go away. But so we developed a 40-week curriculum called STEM at Home, where you could participate with your kiddo and do anything that's in your kitchen. And we've got these NGSS aligned, standards aligned experiments that you could do right at your home. So that's probably, cool. That was my favorite thing that we did. But yeah, on the site, you can find our curriculum, you can find links to our inventory site, and you can find all our contact info.
Wow. It's Wednesday. I forgot about that.
Happy
Lacey
Wednesday.
McDonald's joining us soon. With that being said, we'll link everything in a write-up on RiverBender.com. But real quick, how did 3 purple coats go?
You know, they're doing great.
I was in that because I had your wife on the show a couple of months ago, and I heard the show went pretty well down
Yes, they're doing great. Gangbusters, my sister-in-law, Leah.
Yep.
What a wonderful, resource, another resource for the community, blessing children and doing creative things through theater and drama.
Well, and when your wife joined, I had to slip the bird out. I said, I'm going to be honest, Damian saved me on shin guards. I said he wouldn't want me to brag about him, but he came in clutch for CJ.
Of course.
We aim to please.
Thank you guys so much for stopping by.
Thank you for having us.
We are rolling around to top of the hour. No top of the hour news in the 10 o'clock. I am behind today. We got Lacey McDonald for her History 100 Years Ago segment where we go into the time machine, and then we got OSF Healthcare, and then our partnership with Centerstone resumes at 10:30. You stay there, I'll stay here on this busy Tuesday.
Hey, would you drop by the pharmacy? My doctor switched my cholesterol medication.
Yeah, will do, honey. I'm glad he's looking out for you.
OSF Healthcare can handle all of your family's primary care needs, including managing chronic conditions. Schedule an appointment today.
What are you doing?
We did our home insurance ourselves, but don't feel protected.
So you're building your own American Family Insurance roof line?
Yeah, life's better when you're protected under American Family's roof.
That's not how it works.
Dad, we'll go. It's gonna hit.
See, that's how it works.
For real protection, save up to 23% by bundling your home and auto with us.
With over 20 years of experience, Wilson's Tree Service has the expertise to handle all of your tree care needs. Licensed and fully insured, their team of experts are dedicated to providing reliable service. Plus, with a 24-hour emergency service line, Wilson's will always be there for you. Don't risk tackling that timber by yourself. Trust the local professionals at Wilson's Tree Service. Visit treeservicealtonil.org to get started today.
No matter the season, Play It Again Sports in Edwardsville has the gear the athletes need to get in the game. Whether you're shopping for the newest sports equipment or saving money on quality used gear, Play It Again Sports carries what you need to maximize performance to get the most out of every swing, kick, stroke, or shot. We'll even buy your used goods, paying cash on the spot. We carry all the gear for all the sports all year long. We're your hometown sporting goods store. Play It Again Sports, conveniently located at 4 Club Center Court in Edwardsville. Picture This and More has been a trusted name in the Alton community for more than 30 years, with the last 3 being right here on Broadway. We specialize in quality framing at affordable prices. We also feature works by local artists because we're proud of our community. If you have valued treasures to display and preserve, we're sure to have the perfect fit with our large selection of custom framing and display options. Whatever color, shape, or size, Picture This and More has the look you need. Stop by today and let us help you with your next project.
Village Dispensary has the best deals in Godfrey, Illinois with specials 5 days a week. Mondays roll in the week with 20 to 30% off select pre-rolls. Tasty Tuesdays, enjoy 20 to 30% off select edibles. Waxy Wednesdays, enjoy 20 to 30% off select concentrate and vape brands. Thirsty Thursdays, sip and save with 20 to 30% off all drinks. Flower Friday, grab like 3.5 gram flower deals starting at just $20. Village Dispensary, come meet your best buds.
You're listening to Our Daily Show with CJ Nasello on RiverBender.com.
We're on the air. Hey, welcome back, 10:05. Hello, Lacey.
Hi, CJ.
I was just telling Lacey how the barometric pressure has made me feel like I am back on Ambien again.
Yeah.
That was, years ago, but I just am like tunnel vision and an elephant stomping on my forehead.
Mm-hmm. Well, and I was telling CJ that I had a pin when I arrived in this room, and I don't know where it is. I do have this Ziploc bag that I use.
I wouldn't drive around with that.
I didn't want to get anything wet when I walked down from the library.
The last time I had a Ziploc bag in my car, Lacey, it was a bad Wednesday afternoon.
Okay, well, I was carrying books.
I'm just kidding. So I canceled my haircut because of you.
Wait, why did you?
You instilled paranoia. Instilled the biggest sense of paranoia I've ever had. So what happened with this axe murderer that became Sweeney Todd?
Attempted.
Oh, attempted.
Axe murder.
Sorry.
We can have a little bit of levity today because no one died. It's okay.
He just wanted something off the top. All right, back to you, Lacey.
All right, so February 18th, 1925, Raymond Silkwood went to the home of his supposed friend and neighbor, William Clark, to get a haircut. William Clark had offered to give him a haircut, and Silkwood said that his hair was getting a little long and ragged, so he accepted. He lived in a shanty boat on the Hartford. I'm going to talk about shanty boats in a minute, too. That was the book, the Ziploc bag and all of that is related to shanty boats. So there is a part 2 to this. There is a part 2 to this, and it's really exciting. So, okay, shanty boat, important, on the Hartford riverbank, and Clark lived in a tent next door. So I don't know how large this tent was because Silkwood sat down in a chair in the tent, and several things had talked about how he expected to get his hair shingled or bobbed because this was the 1920s. And so he sat down in the chair expecting a scissor haircut, and Clark struck him on the back of the head with an axe. And he was unconscious. So Clark, yes.
The sharp end or the blunt end?
Oh, we're going to get into that.
Oh, okay. Continue.
That's part 1A.
Okay, the floor is yours, Senator. I sustain my objection, or I overrule it.
So, struck him on the head, rendering him unconscious, and then Clark stole 60 cents out of his pockets, and that is $11 in 2025.
You're getting good at this. You know what my questions are going to be.
Yep.
Damn.
So
I got to get better.
No, you'll just come up with more even
ridiculous
questions.
Yeah,
exactly. I'll still be on my toes. So later on, Clark's mother and stepfather, it says they were away from home at the time, so I guess they lived in the tent too. And I mean, I'm thinking like something large enough for a family. I also don't know how
like
old
the Harry
anyone
Potter
was.
Tent.
Yeah,
like
smaller on the outside, and then when you go in,
it's like a mansion.
Yeah, that's probably what it was.
I'm in.
And but I tried really hard to figure out how old everybody was because I didn't know if Clark was young, and that's why he was living here with his mother and stepfather, or if they were all older, because people lived in more extended family groups a lot of times back then than they do now.
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm not sure of anyone's ages, but the mother and stepfather of the person that hit him with an axe came home, found Silkwood. It said the Wood River police were notified. It didn't say that the mother and stepfather were the ones that notified them. I assume that's what happened. I don't know if they started screaming and then someone else notified the police. But anyway, police were notified. And Clark was no longer there. So the Wood River police asked the Alton police to be on the lookout. And the police found Clark in a different shanty boat, along the willows on the Alton riverfront, arrested him, and took him to the Alton jail. They later transferred him to Wood River police custody. Something I didn't put in the article because it was only tangentially related, but apparently first the Alton police were looking for a different guy with the last name Clark who had murdered someone several years ago. His uncle actually had murdered his uncle several years ago. Well, it was unrelated.
Guy.
Yeah,
okay.
But they were looking for the wrong guy. Because this other guy he had killed his uncle, and it was unclear if it was self-defense or just straight up murder. He had been acquitted with a self-defense defense. And then, so I think that the Alton police were like, this is our chance to nail this guy, but it was someone totally different. So anyway, they found the right guy, took him to Wood River.
This scum is at it again.
Yeah. Took him to Alton jail and then transferred him to Wood River police custody. And now I'll pause for questions before I move on.
Well, thank you.
You're welcome.
I have a few.
Okay.
I feel like my coworkers forget that I actually have a job to do until 11 o'clock. Please refrain from slacks and emails until I have gotten like 50 today. I hate to be a jerk, but it's like, please, just give me some time here. Back to Lacey.
We gotta talk about axes.
Man, okay. So did he hit him with the sharp end or the blunt end?
Okay, we're going to get to that in the trial part of this.
Oh, okay. So I can't ask that question yet.
You can ask it. I will just be answering it in a little bit.
Okay. My other question is, had he gone to this guy before to get a haircut?
I don't know. And I don't know if Clark would have done all this for essentially in our time, $11. I don't know if it was premeditated. I don't know if he was trying to rob him. I don't know if he was trying to murder him, because Silkwood ended up with a 3-inch gash, but didn't die. So I don't know when along the way Clark decided to hit him with an axe and take his money.
This Clark guy sounds pretty lazy. I mean, if you're going to do it, go for the full thing. I mean, it seems like he just kind of didn't want to put the effort in.
I don't know. And his name was too common. William Clark. I couldn't. Well, no wonder the police were looking for the wrong person. I couldn't.
Well, is it the same guy that found the West?
Right. Like, I couldn't look for him. I couldn't see where the rest of his life went. Like, what path he went on after all this.
I'm thinking this is the Clark that found the West.
I mean, the timelines don't quite match up, but
No. But getting into this, was it common? Like, did people have? This is a real question. When people got their haircut, did they have barbers back? Like, was it just you found whoever cut hair? Or like...
I mean, they did have barbers, but there's also that like surgeon and barber combination of people. Like
Dentist.
It used to be. Yeah. Like one person would do a whole lot of things.
Yeah.
And yes, there were definitely barbers at the time. I don't know how much it cost to go to a barber. I also don't know if I seriously doubt there was the same sort of licensing and training that you would have now.
Yeah, I would doubt it.
Because I know barbers and hairdressers now, like you have to go through a lot of training and, classes and stuff and even in things like, bloodborne pathogens and stuff, like you have to be trained and certified and all that. I don't think that was the case.
I would say no.
In the shanty.
I would, especially in the shanty.
Yes.
Yeah. So let's get to the trial.
Okay.
They arrest this guy.
Okay.
We go to trial.
Almost.
Okay.
Almost to trial. Oh, I got to say one more thing. Okay, so Silkwood was taken to the office of Dr. Charles N. Pence for surgical treatment. He revived enough to describe what had happened, so that's how they knew like who to look for. And well, I guess they probably already knew who to look for since he was in the tent of this guy. But anyway, then they got the details. And then there was this sort of judgy comment from the Alton Telegraph. Police find it hard to give credence to the almost incredible story of murderous assault and robbery by one friend and neighbor on another, but such is the story told by Silkwood, who bears the evidence of the axe wound on the head to support that much of the story. Police officers who made an investigation were of the opinion that the two men had been drinking and that Clark did not realize what he was doing. So then 2 days later, Silkwood sends in a letter to the Alton Telegraph that says, I was not drinking. And the surgeon will attest to that. I was not intoxicated when I came in. I had not been drinking. You're wrong about this. So I don't know about Clark. He might have been drinking.
Okay. So we get to trial.
Okay, we get to
I
trial.
can't even ask questions
Okay.
yet. It's better for me just to wait.
Okay, so the day after the attempted murder or whatever it was. Murder. Clark was arraigned in the Wood River Police Court and held for grand jury under a $1,000 bond / $18,000 in 2025
Thank
money
you.
on a charge of assault with a deadly weapon with intent to kill. But then they split it into two separate cases. Yeah, this was the part that was so confusing that I tried to like write it all out and then I gave up because it was so confusing. So anyway, two separate cases, one for robbery and one for assault with a deadly weapon, tried separately. So on April 9th, earlier, he was acquitted in the robbery case. This is where it gets interesting.
How did he not steal the 64 cents? I think that's pretty I think if we are going to say that he attacked a guy 9 times out of 10, I am going to go back in time and argue with these people.
It gets worse.
They paid off a juror.
They only deliberated for 15 minutes.
They paid off
too.
a jury. They got their hair cut from Clark for years. They knew this guy. He coached their little league team. They said there's no way he's going to jail.
Okay, I read this article And I was so like livid and confused, and I didn't even know what to do. So, okay, this is an article from the day of the trial for robbery. And the whole entire thing, this guy gets acquitted because the jury agreed, or the defense argued, I don't even understand what happened, that because Silkwood only saw the shadow of an axe and could not definitively say that it was indeed an actual axe.
I hate people.
I know that they couldn't convict him because it was not proven to be an axe, since he just saw the shadow of it. And I was like, but he who cares what it was if he got hit in the head with a deadly instrument? Like, it doesn't matter if it's an axe or something else. So anyway,
this is raising my blood pressure.
I know. And also, what does that have to do with the robbery? Like, he still took the money. It doesn't matter. So my husband is a lawyer, and I was like, I don't understand. And he said that he was just speculating. He didn't want to come on the show and talk about this, but just speculating.
He knew. I was ready for No, I'm just kidding, Jeff. You're a wonderful person.
No, he speculated that it might have been due to the charges themselves. Like, if they had had a charge of specifically with a deadly weapon, then that would have had to be proven that it was an axe versus like a lamp or something.
Fair.
Like that it might have had to do with the prosecution not putting forth, I don't want to say the correct, but like an easily winnable argument in terms of like that it had to be a specifically deadly weapon versus something that would not be considered a deadly weapon. So that's all speculation. And it's another part of why I didn't put it in here, because we do the speculating on the show.
So what was the end result in the axe part, the attempted murder part? Just because we're kind of tight on time. I want to
Sorry, CJ.
No,
we'll get
it's
to
my
it.
fault today.
No. It's all right. Okay, so that was the last thing I saw on the Telegraph. That was it. And I was, again, like, what is happening?
Do I need to make any obvious comments, or can we just I think we've already heard CJ's shots the last few months.
Luckily, there was an article in
the Riverbender.
The Riverbender did not exist at the time. There was an article in the Lawrence County newspaper in Lawrence, Illinois, that on June 17th, he was convicted of assault to commit murder and sentenced to 14 years imprisonment.
That's right, Will! That's right!
So justice was served. And that happened in Madison County as well. So Madison County did do the right thing on June 17th, and guy went away for 14 years.
And they held, before he left for the year 14, they actually stole another 64 cents from Will to get him even. This is a great story.
Yeah, thanks.
Good job on this one.
You.
I didn't have to ask any questions. It was just your time to shine today.
Yeah.
Lacey, I look forward to seeing you next Wednesday.
Yeah, me too.
I have a lot of energy drink going on. I am sweating profusely. I have a lot of barometric pressure issues happening today.
It's not good.
You know what happens next?
What?
OSF Healthcare joins the show.
Oh, okay.
And we're going to learn more about my problems.
Okay. Oh, can I say the book?
Oh, yeah, the book!
Okay, since I brought it all the way down here in my Ziploc bag. Okay, so do you remember when we talked about Noble Shepherd and the double murder in St. Louis, that where he like escaped and then he offered to come back if the governor wouldn't hang him?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so after we did that show, I was contacted by Greg Andrews, who is a history professor at Texas State University. He's emeritus now, and he loved the show. He really thanks for watching. It was like the nicest email ever. And he mentioned that he talked about that story, that event, in his book, Shanty Boats and Roustabouts, The River Poor of St. Louis, 1875 to 1930. And it's wonderful. So I went in, there are a bunch of references to Alton, a bunch of stuff about shanty boats and like the river culture. It's super interesting. So we have it at the Genealogy Library, and we also have it at the other libraries to check out.
Thank you very much for the compliment too. It's all Lacey. I don't know why I'm accepting that praise.
When I got the email, I told him like it was like the best thing ever and my worst fear. That I go kind of shallowly into these stories. So when someone's an expert,
you're getting nervous.
Yeah, when someone's an expert, I'm like, oh my gosh, what did I get wrong? And he gave me a couple tiny edits, but it was he liked it. And
Good.
Yeah, it was like really cool to hear from him. So
see, this show travels.
Yeah.
Believe it or not.
Mm-hmm. It was really neat.
Lacey, great to talk to you.
You too.
I'm sorry I'm late today. I'm behind.
That's okay.
We'll take a quick break. 10:20 is the time. OSF Healthcare joins us next.
Get access to care for anyone, anywhere, at any time. No appointments, no waiting rooms, no traveling. OSF on call.
Village Dispensary has the best deals in Godfrey, Illinois, with specials 5 days a week. Mondays roll in the week with 20 to 30% off select pre-rolls. Tasty Tuesdays, enjoy 20 to 30% off select edibles. Waxy Wednesdays, enjoy 20 to 30% off select concentrate and vape brands. Thirsty Thursdays, sip and save with 20 to 30% off all drinks. Flower Friday, grabs like 3.5 gram flower deals starting at just $20. Village Dispensary, come meet your best buds.
Picture This and More has been a trusted name in the Alton community for more than 30 years, with the last 3 being right here on Broadway. We specialize in quality framing at affordable prices. We also feature works by local artists because we're proud of our community. If you have valued treasures to display and preserve, we're sure to have the perfect fit with our large selection of custom framing and display options. Whatever color, shape, or size, Picture This and More has the look you need. Stop by today and let us help you with your next project.
Looking for the best barbecue in Madison County? Head over to Carver's Barbecue in Godfrey, Illinois. From loaded barbecue nachos to mouth-watering pulled pork, brisket, ribs, and more, Carver's serves up award-winning flavors you'll love. Family-owned, Carver's is all about fresh, made in-house dishes served daily. Come visit us at 2716 Groveland in Godfrey, or give us a call at 618-467-9999. Order online, get it catered, or stop by for the best smoked meats around. Where great flavors meet family tradition, you'll find Carver's Barbecue.
You're listening to Our Daily Show with CJ Nasello on RiverBender.com.
Hello, it's me.
1024, welcome back to this 5th day of March. In the studio, Marla Nelson, OSF Healthcare. How's life treating you again? You're becoming a regular on this show.
Yes.
Welcome in. Welcome in. That chair is almost yours now. You know?
Yeah, I'm expecting my name to be
we just talked about the Lunch and Learn.
Mm-hmm.
How'd that go?
It went really well.
And now another opportunity to come together as a group.
Yes.
Really unique. So this Friends and Family group is on Tuesdays, 5 to 6 at the OSF St. Anthony's Healthcare Center Psychological Services Department, correct?
Yes.
Where's that at?
So we're on the 3rd floor of the hospital. So if you come in the main entrance, and you would be directed to the 3rd floor, and we're right there. We have like almost kind of a part of a wing, I guess you could say, and we have a really beautiful group room.
Really unique.
Yeah.
Well, now take me through this Friends and Family group. Who is it for?
So it is for friends and family who have a loved one who's struggling with a substance use disorder.
In this group, is it going to be a way for others to maybe collaborate, talk about their shared experiences, and maybe get some insight, some knowledge that way?
Yeah, it really is. It is it's a therapeutic group, So there are other groups like Al-Anon and such. So you're going to have that support, and be able to have people going through that same situation, because, you know, people who are struggling with a substance use disorder, they live with a lot of shame.
Yeah.
And truthfully, so do the families.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
somebody asks you, hey, how's Johnny doing? You know,
And you know what that question really is? You know, you're so right about that. And, you know, sometimes, too, I think that there's a boundary issue that comes into play because, you know, I'm not a parent and, you know, hopefully one day I will be. But if my kid's going through something and, you know, every once in a while they go, hey, Dad, I need $100 because I got to pay my electric bill. But we know that $100 isn't going to an electric bill. And it's like, you know, if I say no, who is he or she going to go to next? You know, is it what happens then? And there's so much guilt if you don't, you know, that you can put on yourself in that situation. And I'm sure that you encounter that, you know, in a regular occurrence with folks.
Yeah, I really do. You know, and I think that's probably one of the biggest struggles, you know, when you have somebody who's, you know, really struggling with a substance use disorder is, you know, where are those boundaries, you know? And, you know, a lot of us, you know, have seen on TV some of the intervention shows, and I'm not anti-intervention, but, you know, just the thought of thinking, wow, to cut somebody off totally. But really kind of having a group where, you know, you could talk about, boundaries with love. There is a way to do that. And also just getting some education, because there's some psychoeducation that goes on in this group
Well,
too.
that's kind of why I'm so glad that Randy booked this conversation today, because this is a big show for us. In a couple of minutes, we're going to be welcoming back on Centerstone and talking a little bit about other programs too. And just the more that we can talk about all of these opportunities that are around, it's not a one, you know, size fits all problem here, an equation. There's so many of these that even if one person gets some knowledge out of this and they gain some better understanding and they can move forward and, you know, see life outside of addiction or their loved ones' lives outside of addiction, that's the win.
Yeah, it really is. And I think with the families that I've worked with individually, the biggest question is, what can I do to help?
Right.
You know.
And am I actually helping?
Yeah. Or am I hurting?
Exactly.
You know, am I, you know, we hear the term enabling, you know, and that's a real thing.
Big time.
But at the same time, you know, how can I navigate this and love my child or my husband or my, you know, sister, you know, whoever it is, you know, do more help than harm. And there are a lot of ways to do that. So, and
you know, what if it's okay? What are some of the things that are going to be? Has the group started?
The group has started. So yes, you know, the thing is, if you're not already a patient at OSF Behavioral Health, you know, we will have to do an intake, and that's okay.
That's fine.
We could do that. You know, get you in. Some people like to maybe bring a whole family in, or, you know, a couple coming in. And of course, everyone's welcome. So a lot of things that we'll be talking about are, you know, really, I want to educate people on addiction, you know, because a lot of us who don't struggle with addiction might say, why are they, you know, even if it's, say, you know, alcoholism or alcohol use disorder is the proper term. Why can't they drink like me? Well, you know, you're going to get some of those questions answered in this group. Again, talking about those boundaries. And then really, what can you do outside of that? Because it can be very consuming whenever you're worried about your loved one who's struggling with any form of addiction. You know, so how do you take care of yourself, you know, in the midst of all this?
Well, and that's because the caregiver goes through as much, if not more, stress sometimes than the individual that's going through the battle.
Yeah, you're right. It really is. And like I said, that shame, you know, you're just kind of wearing this cloak of shame because everybody, you know, we all want to talk about our kids or our mates or whatever in a positive light. And it's, you know, painful, I think, sometimes when people ask, you know, what do you say? You know, do you lie? Do you avoid?
Well, then I'm sure it goes back, and especially because I haven't had a conversation with a parent about this, but it's like, where did we fail?
Yeah, you're right. There is a lot of, especially for parents, kind of take that on.
And this is why I think this is so important, and that's why I wanted to have you guys on today on the same day, because it's the more that we can have an extended conversation about this and see how various organizations are doing this, it's so important. And now, how long does it take to get intake done if someone's ready to make that decision today?
Well, some of us, it just really depends. So for me, I could probably get somebody, in an intake. Well, I have an opening today. 2 o'clock. I do. I just got an opening, So yeah, if you're out there and you want to do this today, give us a call. But I don't know if it can happen that quick. But, we'll try to get you in as soon as possible. I know right now I'm scheduled a couple weeks out, but we all kind of work together and we'll do whatever we can to try to get you in.
And how long do this installment, this group, how long will it run for?
Well, I think until nobody wants it
fizzles
anymore.
Out.
Yeah.
I like it.
And it's an open group, so anyone can join at any time. We don't have any, like
milestone,
12 weeks and then we get a whole new group. So, people can flow in and out of the group too, because maybe, they've got some good tools or coping mechanisms and they feel better and they step away from the group, they can come back.
This is so cool.
Yeah.
What would you want the public to take away from this the most today?
Well, I think I would like friends and families to know that you're not alone.
Yeah.
There are people out there that are going through the same thing as you, and we understand as therapists, and I would love to see you at this group.
And, if you're just tuning in, from 5 to 6 p.m. on Tuesdays, the Friends and Families Group at OSF St. Anthony's Healthcare Center in their Psychological Services Department on the 3rd floor, a really great opportunity for education about addiction, loving boundaries, self-care, and all these great topics. And, Marla, as always, will link everything in a write-up on RiverBender.com. But I wanted to make sure that we, had some time to discuss this.
Yeah.
And what's the best way to gain more information on these groups and be a part of them?
Well, you can call our office at 618-474-6240. Usually you could self-refer. I know there are some insurances that require a referral. A lot of them don't, but you can give us a call again at 618-474-6240.
On Tuesdays from 5 to 6, the Friends and Family Group at OSF St. Anthony's Healthcare Center, the Psychological Services Department. Marla, always great having you on the show.
Thanks for having me.
I know we didn't get 20 minutes today, but 10 and 11 to discuss this is still as important, and thank you so much for that.
Oh, thank you.
We'll take a quick break at 10:33, and we'll come back with more Daily Show right after this on the Heart of the 618.
Have a rash, pink eye, or urinary tract infection and need care now? OSF On-Call Urgent Care is here to treat you. Start a virtual visit 24/7, whenever and wherever you need it. It's just that easy. OSFOnCall.org/virtual visit.
Has free checking become a thing of the past? Not if Liberty has anything to say about it. With 3 free personal checking options and even a free business checking account, Free is alive and well at Liberty Bank, the local bank that gives you free checking choices and more cashing in your pocket. Bank locally, bank Liberty. For more information, visit www.bankliberty.com.
I set the thermostat so my house would be warm when I got home from work, but the kitchen is still cool.
At Barrett Heating and Cooling, we stand behind every Linux system we sell.
My dealer said he'd take care of everything.
At Barrett Heating and Cooling, we understand everyone wants prompt, professional service.
Turns out it wasn't my furnace after all, just a little something blocking the vent.
Pretty smart dog if you ask me. For service you can count on, call Barrett Heating and Cooling.
Lennox, innovation never felt so good. Brent Walker knows how to get results for Alton because he's done it. as Mayor Brandt froze the property tax levy and balanced the budget. His economic development policy stimulated $116 million in private capital investment. Community policing and increased resources for public safety led to a decrease in crime. And under Brandt Walker's leadership, Alton secured more than $10 million in extra grant funds for infrastructure and park improvements. Move Alton forward with Brandt Walker.
Macias Insurance Agency, providing quality products with extremely competitive prices. As an independent provider, we source multiple companies to offer the best rates possible. Covering auto, home, business, and life insurance, our goal is to provide quality service that meets and exceeds customer expectations. You can rest easy knowing the Macias team is working round the clock to ensure that both you and the most important parts of your life are covered. Our qualified professionals make the insurance process easy so you can live carefree and focus on what matters most. Visit MaciasInsuranceAgency.com today to find out what our team can do for you.
You're listening to Our Daily Show with CJ Nicello on RiverBender.com.
I said, hey, Carmen, come on, let's go downtown. She said, I gotta go, but my friend is sticking around.
I have been waiting for this moment for 2 months. Aaron, I'm excited. And I'm excited. For the first time in over a year, I can officially welcome back Centerstone to the show. Good to see both of you today.
Good morning.
Well, and I'm so excited to continue our conversations really on substance use disorder treatment and all of the great services that Centerstone provides throughout our state. And, you know, just diving right back into this, welcome back. And how has the time been since I last saw both of you?
Busy, very, very, very busy.
Well, and
sure.
And it's Ann, correct? Is it Ann?
Yep.
I wanted to make sure because I thought I did this last time and I botched it, and I wanted to make sure I started off strong, Ann. And you are the CEO of Centerstone, Aaron, along with Centerstone as well, and a new role, correct, Aaron?
Yes, that's correct. I actually am now the marketing and community relations manager.
How's everything been with that new title?
Been busy. We're doing a lot this year.
You are doing a lot, and we're going to be talking about some of the new additions and also some of the different topics we'll be discussing all the next couple of months. And with that being said, let's just dive right into the Little Red Pantry. So
yeah, go ahead.
Oh, sorry. There's a delay on my end, Aaron. I'm messing you up. But with the Little Red Pantry, what inspired this?
So basically, I guess back in 2020, we had an overwhelming need from the community to basically just be able to serve our communities with food. We had people who were actually coming into our office and trying to get food. So it was a collective idea between our clients, staff, and some other people to make this happen.
Really unique. And you know, as you see this collaborative effort, you know, in your position, what's it like just to see, you know, the community, the team, and folks rallying around this really great idea?
I think it's beautiful because the Alton High construction trades class took it on and they built it for us. And we had a ceremony on one of the most awful, right, Aaron? Miserable days in February.
It was brutal.
It was sleeting and raining, and yet so many community partners came out and they brought food for the pantry, and the class that built it came. And so it just really, you know, it shows how a community comes together to help people who need our help, right? And so to me, it was a perfect demonstration of what a community-based organization should do.
And you know,
it's great.
Well, and you know, you hit it on the head there, and because when you have students and you have, you know, community leaders and you have everyday citizens of a community, a town, a region coming by, it's got to make you guys more motivated than ever, really, to achieve these missions and achieve these next goals for Centerstone.
Oh, absolutely. And it's great to hear people are coming by and dropping things off. You know, they either put them directly in the pantry or they can come right to the front desk. You know, or if it's somebody who might like be mobility impaired or an older, you know, person, they could give us a call ahead of time. Someone will come out and meet you and, you know, accept the donation. It's just so helpful. And really just the variety of things that people can donate. I mean, it's not just about food, personal hygiene items, toothbrushes, you know, warmer pads, bottles of water, anything really that you could think of is amazing. And it would be such a great opportunity. And you can just drop by and drop it off, or you can put it in the pantry yourself. It's an awesome thing.
And if we can discuss, what is this? Who does this pantry serve? In case someone's, watching this today on their phone, or maybe they're getting told about it by a friend or a loved one. Who fits the criteria for this pantry, if you don't mind me asking?
Hey, Aaron, you want to take that one?
So honestly, I mean, we're trying to serve everybody in the community, anybody who is needing help with any type of food insecurities or just needing any of the items that are in the pantry, they're available to come get it. So we're not going to, say like, you can't come get something. If you need it, please come get it. Help yourself. It is there to help the community.
And Aaron, this goes hand in hand with what, as Centerstone and Ann, that we talked about last year, is that, especially on that substance use disorder side, there's no prejudice from that substance use disorder, and no matter if you're a CEO of a Fortune 500 or you're a fry cook at a fast food chain, it can still affect you. And just like poverty can, and someone loses their job that might have had a great salary and something happens. And I think it's great that you leave that open for folks that really just need it when they need it the most. And I think there's a issue with your audio here.
Oh, sorry. It could be one of our, is this any better?
Yep, that's perfect. Sorry.
Okay. It could be one of our employees, or it could be a nearby employee. Sometimes, making it to payday. I remember I was a single mom. It can be tough, right? So anybody's welcome to come and use it.
What impacts have you all seen so far or heard of? If you could share those with me. Have there been a couple of conversations or just a couple of things that you've heard about through this pantry and some of the good work that's already been achieved?
Well, we got a lot of donations the day that we did the opening, and I can tell you they're all gone. Everything has been taken. I mean, we had pretty much like a whole room full of different snacks and food and non-perishable items, and it's gone. And so I know it's being used, right? And while we're talking about this, I want to give a shout out to our staff team that worked on this. It was a group of people who came together. Christy Whitehall, our director of customer care, and then also some of the directors of our services like Brittany McCready and some of her therapists. This was all their idea. They took this on and they made it happen, and just so proud that they had that thought and executed on it and really came together with the community. I mean, it was Jennifer Schultz, our other marketing person in Alton. She was part of it. So yeah,
well,
and that's really something that came naturally.
Well, and Ann, I think that goes above and beyond what, the segment is about today, because it shows that Centerstone really recognizes all the people that do contribute. And so many companies, you see maybe the manager or maybe the lead on a department, fall in line with the credit that maybe an employee or someone that maybe works just under them came up with. And to hear that you're showcasing that this was a collaborative effort, a team effort, and then showcasing those individuals, I think it's a testament to what Centerstone's all about too.
Well, and let's not leave Aaron out. Aaron, there was a great video. I think, did you do that video on Facebook? It was awesome. Just showing when it got delivered and installed. It was very moving.
It shows the passion though, and that everyone has. Like, Aaron, when we were talking in December about some of this stuff and just hearing, all the work that's going on, and you're going and driving and meeting with all these communities, and you're seeing the office workers and the therapists, the counselors that are doing their part. It's this community that, and I can only imagine how exciting it is to come to work.
Yep, it's kept me here for a long time, that's for sure. Before we merged with Centerstone, I've been with the organization 22 years. So yeah, wow. And there's a lot of longevity at Centerstone. I think we're all very connected to our noble purpose. So thanks for recognizing that.
Well, you hit on something though that I think is even more important, and that's the fact that all the initial inventory is gone. And, that is great in a sense of it serves a purpose that's a great purpose, but it also is an alarming thing as well. And it shows that just how needed something like this is. And when it comes to keeping this pantry stocked, keeping it operational, is it just the inventory that's the biggest challenge? Are there any other challenges that are in the way of maybe a more fully stocked all the time pantry?
mean, I think we probably just need to get the word out more.
Okay.
And I know Lauren's been working on that in different ways. And then just actually, knowing that it's empty and getting it stocked really are the two big ones. And I think we really have to rely on some of our community partners. And I know a lot of our staff bring stuff in all the time. So anything anybody can do to help, including, if you don't want to go shopping or drop off a bag, you can go to our webpage and make a contribution and we'll buy it.
Absolutely.
Lots of ways to make it happen. Yeah.
I will say too, I didn't know this, but the day that we had the unveiling, one of our employees had already set up with Panera that any of the leftover from Panera was actually getting put in there because food was going so quickly that it's not just sitting in there and like getting stale or anything. I mean, as soon as it goes in, it's out the door.
And it's one of those things that goes back to it, just the need, and the fact that if it's going out that quick, especially if we have the ability to help out a little bit, if you're a restaurant out there, like you said, Aaron, if you're a Panera or if you're a local restaurant that has all this leftover stuff, don't trash it, give it to Centerstone and give it to people that really do need it. I love this.
Yeah, it's a great idea.
So we kind of talked about how individuals and businesses can contribute, but is there a phone number, like if I buy some items or if I have a question about what you're looking for in terms of what goes in your pantry, is there a number to call? Is there an FAQ on your website? How can individuals and businesses alike contribute to this?
I'll let Aaron answer that one.
So honestly, I mean, you can get in touch with either like Chrissy Waddell or Brittany McCready,
okay,
and we can share those emails so that they can be posted. And those individuals are really kind of the driving factors behind the pantry, so they would be more of the people who would have the best answers for that.
Okay. Hey, Ann. Just real quick, sorry. The microphone issue a little bit again.
I don't know what's going on.
Now we got you.
Okay, well, Jennifer Schultz is our marketing rep in Alton, and she could also help. If you call our main number, what's our main number, and ask for her, she can help with that as well.
And we'll link that in the write-up. I just wanted to make sure we got all of the details out on that so we can really help and keep this going for years, because this is just incredible. In the freezing sleet and rain, the high school students go out there and how long did it take to build this, Aaron, and do we know the process or how long that took?
I really don't know. I think it was a month long at least. Plus all of the navigating, talking to them, and somebody must have had a connection with the Alton High and with the teachers there, and they were so proud to be there that day. It was very cool to see them there. I was so grateful they were there.
Well, it goes a bit further too. You're getting individuals at a young age to invest in their community, because when you're doing these projects, you're realizing that you're a part of something that's good in the community, the greater good, and it gets younger people wanting to stay here a little bit more. And I think that goes above and beyond, really do. Beyond the pantry, what other ways, and we've talked about them last year, but is Centerstone involved in supporting the community? I know there's a plethora of different programs and opportunity, but if we want to touch on those a little bit, I think that'd be great too.
Sure. Centerstone provides a whole array of services for people with behavioral health challenges, and those could be, the challenge of addiction, or it could be a mental health challenge. It could be a lifelong mental health challenge, or it could just be situational, a divorce, a death, grieving. So we offer a whole host of services, probably too many to list, like counseling, care management, medication, child and family supports. We offer services in our offices, and we also offer them in communities. We have services that probably, unless you need them, you're not aware of. Right. So one of those might be our Pathways to Success program. And that is a program that is really designed for children who are experiencing what's called like a serious emotional disturbance, and their families. These are children and youth who may have had repeat psychiatric hospitalizations or psychiatric crises where they've been in the emergency room. And so we have an entire team of people, and we work across many counties in Southern Illinois, We reach out to the families and we try to help them mobilize their community around them to provide supports, because as you can imagine, when you have a youth or a child who has a serious emotional disturbance, it can be it's a big family systems issue, and families need a lot of support. And we help them find and identify positive supports in their communities, and also link them to needed services, whether those are with us at Centerstone or somewhere else. I think it's a really unique program. It's just started like a little over a year ago, and it's really very, very needed. And it's helping to keep those children and their families out of psychiatric hospitals, out of the emergency rooms, and really focus on building the strengths they need to manage, the issues that they're dealing with. And I think another little known service that we offer is military services. Centerstone has a national reputation for providing services to military members, veterans, and their families. We have a whole a nationwide network of therapists who are, have military experience. They talk the language, they know the culture. Really, just another unique benefit that we offer to all of our communities, really through Centerstone, is those services. We're one of the only organizations nationally that offers those, and we work really closely with Wounded Warrior. And we offer, our therapists participate in like family retreats with Wounded Warrior and offer a variety of services to them.
And and see, that's where I think this is why I love Centerstone so much. It's, things like that not a lot of people want to touch. And because some people are maybe not, I don't want to use the word scared or maybe intimidated by it, but there's so much complexities to, I'm sure, those services, that it takes a very dedicated and very knowledge team, an experienced team, to really put those practices together. And, I got to ask you, going back to this family dynamic, I mean, that to me is so important, because if you don't address the family dynamic at a young age with children, it sets up, and we've talked about this on the show with Centerstone before, this life of potential hazards that are in the way. And how has this been so far? Have there been any changes or updates to this program, or how did this truly develop? Because I just find this so valuable for the audience to hear about, that and the veteran service.
Well, thank you. It's a partnership with the state of Illinois. This is a new program that they created basically, and we really have been leaning into it across Southern Illinois and partnering with them, giving feedback on what's working, what's not working. And actually, it's worked really well. For example, I know we offer this also in the Carbondale area, and we have a relationship with a riding stable there for therapeutic recreation, right? Wow. So it's a really cool partnership that actually came from, I think, one of our events, Life Story, where they had a booth there. And we talked, I think Aaron talked, or somebody talked with the lady that owned the stable, and we were like, hey, we have this program. We need to find positive community supports for children. Is this something that and their families? And so horseback riding, that's a great family activity. It's positive, that they can bond together and develop expertise. And I'm sure we have similar things in the Alton area as well. Art is another outlet, obviously, yes, for children and families, and things that they can do together. So building those positive experiences, developing strengths, I think has really been remarkable. And we have a lot of different community partners who help us to deliver that. Another area is really like respite care. So the mom and dad can get out and go shopping, or,
right,
have a day where they go on a date. I believe a number of the youth that we serve have some form of Asperger's or autism too, right? And so helping the family learn behavioral strategies to cope with that has also been an important part.
This is just so incredible. And Aaron, when you're in your role, how is the difficulty finding out which of the many different programs and services to talk about in that given day? Because there's so many, and I don't mean that as a patronizing comment. I mean it as, is it just finding the right service for that community? Is it just, what goes into your role when you're talking with communities about the services and marketing Centerstone? Because there's just so much.
We do have a lot, and honestly, it's not hard. Each community by itself is its own entity.
Right.
Marion, Alton, Carbondale, those areas are all a little bit different. Really just with going out and doing the marketing, we're honestly just want to be boots on the ground and just letting people know that we have these services, and we're actually doing a very good job of that this year. We're going to get out and do several pop-ups between the South and then also in the Metro East area. This year, we're also looking to host 3 resource fairs between the Metro East area and then the South. News today, we are actually partnering with the Gateway Grizzlies. And then on May 28th, we're going to have a mental health awareness evening at the stadium.
Wonderful.
Life story.
Yeah, I'll clap for that one too. That's a great thing.
So yeah, I mean, we have a lot going on. So there's a lot of opportunities for our communities to get information, but there's also a lot of opportunity for our community partners that we already partner with and community partners we may not have partnered with in the past to be able to come and do a lot of these events with us.
I also hear there's a lot of opportunity to work with Centerstone.
Yeah.
You betcha.
And fill me in. Centerstone's currently hiring, and I got to ask, what roles are available?
We got a lot. I mean, we have jobs for people who've graduated from high school. We have jobs for people who have associate's degrees. We have jobs for people with lived experience, whether, like a family member has had a mental health challenge or a substance use challenge. We call those folks people with lived experience. We need a lot of them. That's really important to us. We have customer experience jobs, care management jobs. I was looking at our website, a research coordinator, and we're looking for interns from all disciplines to do a variety of different things with us. And I think, really there's a lot of different opportunities depending on your interests. We have lots of different roles available. We aspire to be one of the better paying employers anywhere we are. And we have really been working on improving our wages. And we also offer, about, I would say probably 80 to 85% of our workforce is female. It's the counseling profession, the caregiving profession. It draws a lot of women. So we have a lot of unique benefits that would appeal to women. Like we offer a bonding benefit, which is 6 months, 6 weeks of paid leave to bond with a new child, whether that's through adoption or, if you've had a new baby. We also offer very women-centric benefits for things like fertility and menopause. And when you work for us, if you've gone to college and you have student loans, you have opportunities for loan forgiveness, a variety of opportunities for student loan forgiveness. So lots of ways, lots of great benefits, plus you're connected to a mission that we hope will really change the world.
This is incredible. I'm not trying to pay, but this is why I almost get teary-eyed because you go above and beyond. Centerstone's not just what the public sees. And so many times you hear of an organization that does a lot of great PR, and we think that's great to let them know about your services. But when you look internal and you talk to the employees, internally it's not the same as what the mission is on the outside. But at Centerstone, and we talked about last year just some of the support systems that the employees get at Centerstone, but also to hear a little bit more about that today, it really is this true community. And it's not one that it's like smoke and mirrors. You see us here and then it's different when you walk inside. What you see is what you're getting. And I think that's so important to drive down in case anybody's ready to start that career today.
Thank you. Yeah, we welcome people from all fields. Just come and see what you're interested in. And, when you come into interview, talk about what your own vision is. And maybe there's some role here that, you can help us and we can help you. And
I'm glad you brought that up, Ann. I want to be a public nuisance for you.
Okay.
No, but going in a little bit further, because we are welcoming you guys back onto the show today. That's why we're going past 11 o'clock, and I don't care. I want to talk all things Centerstone and get us all excited about this, because this is just truly the beginning. And Aaron, and Ann too, what topics and segments can we expect to hear from in the next couple of months as we keep having these discussions about Centerstone and all the great work?
Yeah, so we've actually, I was going to say, we've got a great list of our teams that are going to be joining you for various different reasons. We have new programs, CCBHC, our R-Core group, Castle, which is our autism clinic. Like Ann talked about, our veterans group, they're going to come on and talk. Our foundation will come on and talk, and then also our talent acquisition team. So they can talk about those openings that we have. And then just kind of getting into those months that really mean something. So Autism Awareness Month, Recovery and Suicide Awareness Month, and Mental Health Awareness Month. So, we want to make sure that we're bringing light to not just our services, but letting people know that those months are going on too, and maybe help break some of the stigmatism
Right.
around some of that stuff.
It's so important, and that's why I love having these conversations. And when I first started radio, they said don't talk about anything that's controversial or any. And I don't agree with that. I think it's how you talk about things, and I think the more that we raise awareness to issues that various regional families and individuals are going through, the more that we can truly help those people. And I think that's what Centerstone showcases, so much. And with that being said, I got to ask you this, Ann. After the 20 plus years that you said that you've been with the group, I'm sure that you've seen the evolution of mental health and mental health care, throughout the region and just throughout the country. What have you seen the last couple of years in terms of where mental health conversations, mental health education's going from here?
Wow, it's really changed. I think the pandemic really underscored how important mental health is and how everybody struggles with it up, down, at one time or another. And I think our younger generations, I'm not sure what ones, X, Y, Z, whatever, they have a completely different perspective, right?
Yep.
It's far more open. It's talked about a lot more. It's just not what it used to be. And people expect that their employers, right, are going to support their mental health. And that means a workplace where, the old, work 70 hours and then you can go home and still worry about if you should be working more, doesn't work anymore, right? I mean, and we're all connected. And so we all, and I think another thing that Centerstone really cares about is suicide prevention. They've built a long history, and it's hard to know when somebody is saying something as a joke or if they really mean it. Right. And so I think people realize now more than ever with the suicide epidemic among young people, how important it is to pay attention when people talk about if they're down or, and I think we're going to probably have our crisis team come and maybe talk a little bit more about that in detail. But I think paying attention to our mental health is critical for our youth, for our community. And it's real, and it used to be a no-no to talk about it. Nobody talked about it. Now I think it's far more open. I think that's a lot more healthy.
Well, and too, Ann, I mean, we're seeing just, I talk about it on the news sometimes, very unfortunately, and there are area families that are very much affected by that. And, the more that, I hate to say this, that we can talk about those not talk about them, but talk about what led to those situations and raise awareness, hopefully we can have more conversations with our kiddos at home and make sure that everyone's doing as best as they can be.
Well, and the good news is there's treatment and it works, right? And it's just like going to the doctor for a cold. You can get medication, you can learn how to think differently. Like for PTSD, there are lots of new treatments out there that can help people overcome that. So the good news is it is treatable and you can get better and life gets better. Yeah.
100%. And, as we wrap up our initial conversation, which I wanted to make sure we gave you the full 30, we're going right to, I timed these questions out pretty good. I just got to get excited real quick. For those that maybe not are too familiar with Centerstone, even though they should be if they're in Alton, but if they're in St. Charles watching, or my buddy out in Texas, we have some international listeners now. It's pretty crazy how this show keeps going. Let's take us through what sets Centerstone apart. And because, Aaron, we talked about this and privately, but I'll say it on the air. I don't do sponsored segments like old radio, because old radio was give me your checkbook and I will give you airtime. And I can't do that. I want to make sure it's a good partnership that gets great information across. And that's why I love to have you on. But let's talk about what sets Centerstone apart.
Centerstone's vision is really to transform behavioral health care across wherever we are, and hopefully to grow our footprint. And we also know that how important science is to behavioral health care. There are treatments that have been tested. We know that they work. We know that some treatments work better than others in particular diagnoses. And so our goal is to make sure that when people come to us for care, they're going to get that treatment that works the best for them, whether it's medication or a particular type of therapy. And so really adopting the method of the science of care in all of our encounters with our clients and our patients, it's really, that's a Centerstone strength. And Centerstone's also a really big advocate nationally for behavioral health. I don't know if you're aware, but we were one of the biggest advocates for the 988 system for suicide prevention. And we've been involved, and we are looked to nationally for information and ideas on a variety of different mental health areas, working, of course, with many different partners nationally. So I think it's just our national presence and that we are recognized for our expertise.
Don't tell me I'm running out of time. I don't run out of time. But Aaron,
hey, can we do one thing, and that's plug our event that's coming
up?
Oh,
no, we're going to get to that in a second. But I wanted to get one
you.
quick FAQ out that Aaron filled me in on in our meeting the other day, and that's whenever there's an influx of calls, you guys actually Centerstone holds the. Can we clarify that, Aaron, that we talked about with the 988 number with the phone calls, or who manages those?
So we are. I'll say the backup to Illinois. So we're one of the groups that helped answer. And I'll be honest, I'm surprised. I saw some of the numbers from the other day. So in October of 2024, I believe that's when we started taking calls. The calls in Illinois coming in were running about 15,000, and their answer rate was right around 50%. And when we came on and started in October, that rate of answering went from 50% up to 90%.
That's incredible.
80%'s the threshold. So, I mean, we helped push them through getting past that threshold. But out of those 15,000 calls that are, being answered or that are coming in, we're fielding roughly about 7,500 of those calls.
Wow. And to me, that number is just staggering, because that's not, when you say 15,000, those are 15,000 that are in, I mean, if you're calling 988, there's a reason to, and, or there's something going on. And to know, just to hear that in 1 month, it just shows the need for what you guys are doing. And I think it's just so important. And Ann, we got to talk about this event. I want to wrap up on a good note, on a very positive note. Fill me in on what's coming down the pipeline, Ann.
We're doing at the Alton VFW, I believe it's April 6th, right? At 6 p.m. We're doing Glow Bingo, which is quite an experience. I've never done it myself, but I hear it's not your grandma's bingo.
It is totally not. I have been a part of a Glow Bingo or two. I don't have any trolls yet.
Okay.
You sit them on the...
$25 a ticket. All of the proceeds from the event will benefit Centerstone Services. So come out, bring your friends, bring your snacks, have a great time with us at the VFW.
And what day was that? April 6th?
Is that right, Aaron? Did I get that right? I'm pretty sure you did.
I'm pulling it up. While I'm looking that up, I also do want to plug in that we, with Charles Mooneyham, we're also going to be having an art show on the 28th and 29th of this month. It will be at the Milton Schoolhouse.
Milton Schoolhouse, yep.
Yep. So the 29th and 30th of this month will be that event. And then for Glow Bingo, it is the 12th of April.
Oh, okay. April 12th. And you said 12. I heard you. It wasn't.
It was a multiple of 12. I'm sorry, I got this wrong.
Hey, you just didn't you didn't simplify it yet. Is that what we call that when you?
I apologize. Yeah,
no,
sorry.
But we'll link everything. And again, tickets are $25. How long does the event run at Glow Bingo?
I think it's like 6 to 10.
Oh,
yes.
Oh,
yep.
$25 for 4 hours of fun. Do we get to win prizes?
Yeah.
Yes.
What are you doing?
Lots of prizes.
What are you doing at home? Not you two. You guys are doing great work. What are you doing at home, listener? You got to get your $25 tickets to Glow Bingo at the VFW, Post 1308 in Alton on Albee Street.
Yep.
And how do we get our tickets?
www.centerstone.org/Glow Bingo.
Really cool. And Aaron, let's talk about that art exhibit, correct? Coming down the pipeline March 28th and 29th?
29th and 30th.
Oh, God.
So it is the Alton Art Expo. And again, that is through the Milton Schoolhouse in conjunction with Charles Mooneyham. We have posted a few things. I do apologize. I don't have that information pulled up in front of me. But on the 29th, from 12 to 7 p.m. at the Milton Schoolhouse, which the address is 1320 Milton Road in Alton, will be the first day. And then from 12 to 5 on the 30th will be our second day. There's going to be several nationally known artists that will be there. and selling off work. There will be donations that will come back to us. They are still looking for vendors. So if you are any type of mental health advocate, let Charles know and he will get you fit in so that you can be there and showcase what you do also.
Really great. And seriously, guys, thank you so much for coming back on to the show. I'm glad to have Centerstone back on as we fill everybody in on the wonderful work you're doing. We'll link everything that we discussed in an article on RiverBender.com. Aaron, great to have you back via Zoom. And Ann, great to see you again and having you back on the show.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you.
No problem. I am out of time today, but I will see you all back here tomorrow for Thursday, more of our daily show then. Go inside. It's not a good day out there. Put out an umbrella. Go turn on SpongeBob or Judge Judy. Have a good old day.